Yeah, welcome to lecture 26, the online mode of Verilog course. So in this session, we are focusing on sequential and parallel blocks. To summarize about the previous session, we learnt about four different loop statements, namely while, for, repeat, and forever. So these four statements are the loop statements, and loop statements are recommended to use inside the stimulus block. Try to avoid its usage under the design block that you are working on. Okay, so this session, of course, we had a few more concepts in the behavioral style of modeling, but I'm restricting to the syllabus that has been mentioned in your course. Sequential and parallel blocks is a last but one topic I can say. After this, you have traffic light controller. But in behavioral style of modeling, there is one more very important topic, but which is not covered in your syllabus. That is called generate statement. Let me repeat, generate statement. So if you are willingness to learn about it, if you feel like you want to upgrade your skills in Verilog coding or RTL design, definitely you can go through the generate statements also. And if you have any doubts, let me just know so that I can help you. But I'll not be taking for teaching or on the slides. But it is also a very important course. So now let me proceed with today's plan. Sequential and parallel blocks. We shall begin with a sequential block first. So here, the keywords used for sequential blocks are begin and end, and you are already aware that we have been using sequential blocks from the start of the behavioral style of modeling. Those two are initial block and always block. The keywords begin and end are used to group statements into the sequential block. We already know it. So begin and end are used to group the statements between the multiple statements that we were using initial block as well as always block. The statements inside the sequential blocks are processed in the order they are specified. That's why it is called as sequential, right? In the order, processed in the order, I can say. So it's always processing one after the other. So it will not process parallelly. That's the meaning of sequential. The statement is executed only after its preceding statement completes its execution. Except, the exception is except for non-blocking assignments with intra-assignment timing control. These things all we have studied earlier in the earlier sessions with simulation examples. By now you might understand these statements as it is. Let me repeat it. A statement is executed only after its preceding statement, means blocking. Blocking assignments now we will be using. Blocking assignments is like once the current statement completes its execution, then only the first subsequent statements starts its execution. Whereas in non-blocking, there is a slight variation that we have already explored with the simulation examples also. If delay or event control is specified, it is relative to the simulation time when the previous statement in the block completed execution. So these flow, standard flow, will be affected with the delay or event controls if specified. If it is not specified, then it does not create any problem. If it is specified, relative to it, the simulation time, the particular execution of those statements will be carried out. That's the meaning. Let us take one sample code to understand the sequential block. Of course, you are very well aware of these sequential blocks and its working. Still, I'm taking in order to compare it with the parallel blocks, which I'll be focusing in the very next slide. So sequential block, initial and always. Reg XY means X and Y are register variables of single bit. Z and W are register variables, vectors I can say, of 2 bits. Z is of 2 bit, W is also of 2 bits. It's been declared as a registers means I'll be using it inside the sequential block, either initial or always. So in the initial block, let me cover it within begin and end because I have a multiple statements here. So this we call it as grouping of all the sequential blocks within the begin and end. So how this process executes? Let us analyze. X is equal to 0. X is a single bit variable. I am assigning it with 0. So it completes simulation time at 0 because there is no time mentioned, right? Hash, there is no time mentioned. So that's why it completes its execution at simulation time 0. Now, after the completion of this, for the next 5 time minutes, it will wait. And after it, this 1 is assigned to y. So y will receive 1, logic 1, after 5 time minutes, after 5 simulation time minutes. Now 5 is a current simulation time. After that, next 10 simulation time unit, 5 plus 10. After 15 simulation time, Z will receive the concatenation value of X and Y. X has 0, Y has 1. 0, 1 is a value that will get assigned to Z after 15 time minutes, right? 5 plus 10, 15 time minutes. Now current simulation time is 15. 15 is the current simulation time. Now I say that after 20 means 15 plus 20, that is 35. After 35 simulation time, W receives the concatenation of Y and X. It's just the swapping of Z. That is 1 and 0 you get. So this is a sequential block. Let me take it in the Xilinx environment. Before that, I just want to explain you the parallel block so that I can take both the things parallelly to explore the differences. Here is a parallel block for you. Parallel blocks specified by keywords fork and join. In our daily needs, we very frequently use fork for eating purpose. The same meaning have been taken here. Normally fork, it's a kind of a spoon, right? To eat noodles and all we use, especially to cut the bread pieces, you know, and to have as a breakfast. So we use a fork. So this fork normally it is used for cutting the food into two pieces before consuming, right? So here the meaning of the fork is cut. Okay, remember that. The meaning of the fork is cut. So keywords used are fork and join. Statements in the parallel blocks are executed concurrently. So in the parallel block, the execution is concurrently means at a time all the statements starts its execution. And of course, if timing parameters are there, it will have its own effect. Ordering of the statements is controlled by the delay or event control assigned to each statement. That is what I said. The ordering of the statement is controlled by delay or event controls assigned to them. So the parallel block executes concurrently. That's for sure. Only thing is you can change certain things of working there using this delay or event control or timing controls in general we speak in that manner. So if delay or event control is specified, it is relative to the time the block was entered. So that's the meaning. Let me explore the meaning of these two statements using the example that is mentioned below. If delay or event control is specified, then what happens? Let us check. Register X and Y, single bit. Register ZW is a 2-bit vector. Same thing as in the previous case. In the previous case also we had same X and Y single bits, ZY 2 bits. Initial, begin, end. Here we'll be having fork and join. Initial, fork and join. This makes this initial block to execute parallelly, right? Here we are not using begin and end. If we use begin and end, it will follow the sequence X, after that Y, after that Z, after that W. But if you use fork and join, it is irrespective of the order, irrespective of the order, it starts executing at the same simulation time. Fork. Fork meaning is cut. Cut these into pieces. I treat these four piece of code or single line codes separately, independently. Treat fork means fork tells the compiler that treat the following four statements because we have only four. If it all we had eight, then eight different. Okay, treat the following four single statements as independent flows, independent legs, I can say. Got it? So the keyword fork splits a single flow into independent flows. Here it was a single flow. Now it's split into four different flows, independent flows. Now X also starts at same simulation time. This also start at same simulation time. This also start at same simulation time, and even the last. Now what happens? X will receive 0 at 0 simulation time. Y will receive 1 at after 5 simulation time because delay is mentioned. And what about Z? Here is a difference. After completion of Y's assignment, after 5 time minutes, then only it was starting in the previous case. But now it has been cut it into pieces. It has been treated as independent flows. So 10, this statement also starts at 0 simulation time. So directly it starts counting 0, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 like that. So up till it reaches 5, it would have also reached at 5 simulation time. So after next 5 simulation time, that is exactly after 10 time units, Z would receive the concatenation of X and Y. And similarly, here exactly at 20, W would have received the concatenation of Y and Z. You can see here X receives 0 at 0, Y receives 5 at 5 simulation, 1 at 5 simulation time, Z receives the value at 10 simulation time, W receives the value at 20 simulation time. Compare it with here. Here 5 plus 10. 5 plus 10 equal to 15. 15 plus 20 is equal to 30. So it's like that. 10 plus 20. So it is added to it. Here it is not adding. Here it is the same value that I have mentioned, same kind of the delay it will take. After that, you need to join it. So don't you should not keep it independent. You have to join it and you should return back the contents of the variables to the compiler as a whole because it's a individual sequential block, initial sequential block. Within that, we are making a parallel execution by using fork, and after that we'll join it and return back the same original characteristic of initial, which is a sequential by its nature. So hence the keyword join joins the independent flows back into the single flow. That's the meaning. So that's a parallel block for you. So let us take these initial block, sequential block and parallel block into the Xilinx environment and check its simulation. I'll be taking the same piece of codes. We shall check Z and W. In sequential block, it'll execute at 15 as well as 35. In parallel block, it executes at 10 itself and 20 itself. So these two things we shall verify in the Xilinx environment. So I have a code already written in order to save the time. So let me take the sequential block first. The name mentioned is sequential here. So I'll go to the Xilinx implementation, right click, new source, Verilog module. I'm pasting the name. So I'll copy down the same code. Okay. So let me zoom it and show you. So it is no different. Everything is same from reg xy to zw. Only changes here I'm monitoring these signals. X, Y, Z, W after each simulation time. Uh, uh, we are checking whenever there is a change in the value, it will execute. So X and X, Y, Z, W gets displayed. If you don't want, you can remove this also. I'm just keeping it in order to show it. So here the same things begin and end are used. This is a sequential block. So let me save it. Sequential. Here it is. Check syntax. Okay. So monitor was not there and this module sequential was not there and end module was not there. Only these things are different. If you want, you can add this monitor, but these are must in order to execute. So why I'm not taking whole of the code in the slide, because you already know like how should be the module name written. I'm giving the importance to the body of the module. That's why I did not take it. So let me directly simulate it. Sorry, I simulated the wrong one. It was synchronized. I simulated. Let me have to stop it. Let us see what happens. I should have highlighted sequential, but by mistake it was highlighted synchronize. Let me close once the ICM simulator opens, and then we will restart again. This is the previous code. I don't want it. So this one should be highlighted. Simulate. So meanwhile, I'll keep the parallel block also ready. So here the module name was given as parallel. Only very few changes you need to make here. Very few change. Only changes fork begin or fork and join. Let me just show it directly in the live. So here in the code, if any initializations have been made, then restart should not be done. Here no initializations are done. Sorry, already the stimulus block is written, right? So you can see here, zoom to fit. I'll show it here. You can see here at 5 simulation time. I'll zoom in. Here is a 5. Uh, 5 at 5 nanoseconds. At 5 nanoseconds, because one time unit is equal to 5 nanoseconds. At 5 nanoseconds, X is initialized to 0 at 0 simulation time. You can see here. Y is getting initialized at 5 nanoseconds. You can see here. At 5 nanoseconds means 5 time minutes. After 5 time minutes, Y gets 1. That's how the code is written. After 5 time minutes, Y gets 1. That's how the code is written. Z is going to receive its value after 5 plus 10. 15 time minutes, Z will receive 0 and 1 concatenated. You can see here. After 15 time minutes, 5 plus 10, here it is. After 15 time minutes, Z receives 0 and 1 concatenation of X and Y, X 0 and 1. Now, the next plus 20, already 15 times have been elapsed. 15 plus 20 is 35. After 35 time minutes, y and x, that is 1 and 0, gets concatenated and gets assigned to w at 35 time minutes. 35 is here. You can see here. At 35 time minutes, w would have received concatenation of y first and z x0, x next, 1 0 1 0 here. Now, the small change I make, very small change, I should make it as parallel. I'll make it as parallel. I don't copy it here itself. I'll show it parallel. Then what are the changes I need to make? Begin I should remove. I should write fork. Then the next change is end I should remove. I should join. That's the only change I made. The code is same. I changed the module name as parallel. Here I changed begin and end with fork and join. I did not do anything else. Now we shall compare what happens. Save it. I'll directly simulate it because I know syntax would be okay. Or syntax also, here also check syntax happens. So directly sequential, let me see here parallel. Why it is got treating it as sequential.v, because we have named it in that manner, but we have changed module name as this, so that's why it is like this. In order to save time, I have done like this. Okay, highlighting it, I'm simulating it. So check syntax will also happen parallelly. Here what should happen? Z would have received after 15 time minutes. Here I intentionally have written it. Actually, it should happen at, I write it here. It should happen at 10. And this 35 should cancel and it should happen at 20. This is what we need to observe. This should vanish. This was a previous case and this is a present case. I want to check whether it is happening like this or not. Z receives its value at 10 time minutes. W receives its value at 20 time minutes. That is what is my observation to be carried out. So iSim simulator has got opened. Zoom to fit. So here I'll just at 5 time minutes at 0 simulation time, x is 0. At 5 time minutes, y is equal to 1. That's done. Z, see here, at 10 time minutes itself it is getting 0 and 1. W at 20 time minutes itself, at time minutes itself it is getting 1 0. So it is not 35 or it is not 15 here, as in the previous case it was 15 and 35. Now it got changed to 10 and 20. 10 here and 20 here. That's the difference between fork and join. Let me close it. So that's the difference between fork and join, begin and end. Begin and end, it's a sequential execution. Fork and join, it is a independent or concurrent execution of the following statements in between fork and join. I hope the things are clear here. So let us move on to the next one. The next is nested blocks. So the sequential blocks and parallel blocks have certain extensions. Let us explore those extensions now. Nested blocks means I We understood that initial blocks, either it may start with begin, end, and you have intermediate statements here, or you can have initial statements or always statements with fork and join with following statements in between it. So this is parallel execution and this is sequential execution. This is what we observe. Now nested block means, can we merge these two things? Can we have like initial begin end, and in between begin end can we use fork and join? In between fork and join, can we use begin and end? We may have need such working or such concept somewhere in the big project. So that's why what we do is we learn this nested blocks. So nested block code goes like this. I'll take this code in the Xilinx software and explain you. Let us understand it first here. Module sequential, reg x comma y, reg zw, it's a 2 bits. Up till here it is same. This is also same. This is also same. This is also same. This is also same. The following two statements are also same. Then where the things have gone different, here is the thing what you should focus. In the previous slide, you can see here everything was same, only here we had used fork join. In earlier slide we had used begin and end. Now what we do is we start with begin and end, we return it in begin and end, we return it in begin and end. For these two statements I use fork. You can see here only for these two statements I am using fork and join. X equal to 0, it's there. Hash 20, w is equal to concatenation of y x, it is also written as it is. Only in this place where fork and join have been used. Initially it was not there in the very first sequential block, now it is put. Now what's the meaning of it? The execution start, initial block is encountered, it's a sequential block. When begin is encountered, the meaning is execute one by one, that is sequential. X is equal to 0 at executes as 0 simulation time, that is also fine. After that, this is treated as a single whole. This will be taken as a whole, fork and join. So now what happens? This used to execute after this time and Z used to execute after the completion of Y. But because of this fork, it splits, it cuts these two statements. It cuts these two statements and it will make initialize the execution of these two statements concurrently, parallelly. So now what happens? At 0 simulation time, X is equal to 0. At 5 simulation time, Y is receiving 1. At 10 simulation time, because these two things parallelly execute, at 10 simulation time Z will receive 0 and 1. Now join, I joined it. After joining it, this has to execute only after the completion of this statement and this statement. This is treated as a whole, this is treated as a single statement. So it has completed its execution at 0 simulation time. It will complete its execution at 10 simulation time, because by 5 it would have completed, by 10 it would have completed. 10 10 plus 20, 10 plus 20, because it's a sequential, it is after join or outside join. So 10 plus 20 at 30 simulation time, W gets the concatenation of Y and X. So this is what we have to observe in the Xilinx environment. Same code I'll take, no change at all. I'll bring back this code to the original one. So the name was sequential. I'll bring it to sequential. Sequential. Then everything is same. Here I'll insert. Here I'll change it to begin. This as end. Okay. Here I introduce fork, and after the two statements I introduce join. This is the only change I'm making. This is the only change I'm making. So now in the first case sequential only, this was a case. In the second case only parallel block, this was a case. Now in the third case what happens? This will execute at 10 simulation time itself, because 0 is would have completed. At 5 this completes, but after 5 it will not execute. It will these both statements starts execution at the same time. So At 0, it starts counting and Z receives the value at 10 simulation time itself. So at 10 itself, I get it. What about this? This is outside the fork and join, right? So it has to wait up till it completes this as well as this execution. So to complete this execution, 0. To complete this execution time, so 10 would have elapsed. After 10 plus 20, 30. So now it is 30. So this is what you need to observe. W should receive the value at 20 simulation time. So let us check whether it is happening like that or not. So I'll highlight the sequential and simulate behavioral model. Let us check. So the first three remain same as your fork and join, which we discussed in the earlier simulation. Only change that should happen is with the W. So W should receive its new value at 20 simulation, 30 simulation time. So zoom to fit, sorry, zoom to fit. Okay. At 5 time unit 0 simulation time, X got its value, Y got its value at 5 time units, Z received its value at 10 time units because fork and join have made this Y and Z to execute concurrently. But what about W? W comes after the fork and join. So it will 10 plus 20 is 30. So at 30 nanoseconds, W received its value. This is the working of nested blocks. We call it as nested blocks. In begin and within that fork and join and then end. Okay. So let me close it. Now we shall go to the next one. Named block and disabling block. These are the two next block statements. So these block statements, let me explain you using a code that is taken here. Name the block by naming, you can name the block, that's the meaning. Let me show it here. Module find true bit. Do you remember this code? We had used this code find true bit to explain you one of the concept that is regarding, I guess, while loop. To explain while loop, I had used it, right? Register 16-bit flag, integer I, initial begin. Flag is initialized to, this bit is made 1, rest everything is 0. This underscore gets ignored. This is to just improvise the readability. I is equal to 0. Uh, then, then we are having a block. The main block inside while is named as block. So this is a block begin. So it is a nesting. So begin is there. One more begin is nesting. Block 1 is a name. While I less than 16 begin, if flag is 1, flag of particular index value is 1, then this executes. Display that true bit is found and which index you need to display. That disable block means this will come out of the block. This will just come out of the block. Which is a block? This is a block. This block's begin is here. While's begin is here. While's begin will end and if's begin is here. See here. This is a begin for if. It will complete end here. This begin is here. Double tick ends here. This begin is here. 3 times tick end is here. uh, I'll put a circle. This begin is here and this end is here to have an connectivity. So when I disable the block, if I don't use it, it would have reached end. After that, this would have been executed. After that, it should reach end. And then this block 1 would have ended. Now with this disable block 1, it will directly, once it encounters, it will directly come out of the block. Come out of the block means not here, neither here. It will directly come at this execution pointer because disable block 1 is here. The name has been given here. So this begin ends here. So this is a single block. So when I disable it, it will come out of this loop and it will end the initial and end module. So this is what you need to understand. Let me take Xilinx software to explain it. disable block. So here's a code. Find true bit code is already been used. I think we have used it. Only changes here we have used. Let me check if I have that. Find the true bit. Yeah, it is here. Okay, it is here. Here, what all changes we are making? We are before while loop. You can see here. Before while starts, I have one dummy block which I name it as block 1 because this was having one negative. That negative I'll explain first. I'll just execute it one more time and explain you. I'll simulate it. What was happening was once the true bit was encountered, this I was initializing one more time, which was not needed for us. Once the first true bit is encountered, I wanted the execution to complete its execution, but it was not happening so. You can see here, I'll change its index, radix. You can see here, the first true bit is encountered at 1, at here, this place. 0, 1, 2, 3. 3 should have been displayed, but it is displaying 4, one extra time because the code is written like that. After it displays the true bit, still it will come out of this loop. I increments, 3 becomes 4, and after that it will terminate. But I don't want it to happen so. I want it to terminate as soon as the true bit is encountered. That is what I want to do it here. See, as soon as the true bit is encountered, I directly want to disable it. So this was my intention. So let me do that. So here begin colon block 1. To end this begin, I have one more end here. So to have the clarity, let me just push it further. While loop, I'll push further. This one, I'll push it here. If comes within that. If's begin is here. This statement is within that begin. I'm pushing it. I'm ordering it. I'm keeping it neat. That's it. Okay. So this is the statement. This is end of while, and this is end of this begin. Okay, now you can see this is begin and end, this begin and end, this begin and end, and this begin and end. So as soon as the true bit is encountered, I don't want to check anything else. I don't want to check anything else here. This is not needed. Nothing is needed. I'll just use disable block 1. The same thing. I did not change anything. Disable block 1 semicolon. Here begin colon block 1. That's the only addition I have made. Rest everything is same. I'll just close it. You can see here it is 4 now. I was enter is 4. Now we'll see what happens. Save it. Simulate behavioral model. Okay. Let me wait for a while and check. Yeah. Here I'll change the radix. You can see here 3 because this indexing starts from 0, 0, 1, 2, 3. At third bit itself, we encountered the first true bit. After that, it will disable the block. That's it. It will come out of the block. See, it has not incremented also. You can see here. After this has encountered, it will directly reach this position. So hence it has not incremented. In earlier case, when this statement was not there, it was coming to the end and this was executing, and then it was checking the condition. Then we were coming to know that it has encountered the first bit and then end, and then it was coming here. So there was one extra increment happening. Now because of this disable block 1, it is coming directly jumping to this position. So it is not incrementing. Okay, so this is one double checking, like I when I reached 3 at 3 index equal to 3, I equal to 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, that is a fourth bit, we call it as 3, index 3, the first true bit has encountered. That's what is the help that is given by disable and named block. And you can use disable block only if you have named that block with something. You can also name while. Okay, so this whiles begin, I can name it as a block. And no need to have any specific initialization of if or while. You see here, nothing is here. I just begin a block here and I ended it whenever I wanted. So that is also possible with named and disable block. So this is a concept of the sequential and parallel blocks and extension as nested block and named block and disable block. So many things we discussed today. Let me summarize it. This is a summary. We understood about sequential blocks wherein we use begin and end, and then we analyzed what is the meaning of parallel block wherein we use fork join. Then what we used nested blocks wherein within begin and end we got fork as well as join. So this is nested block, and within begin and end you can have one more begin and end. So I begin here, end here. You can nest begin and end also with combining with fork and join also. So this is nested block. Okay. Then named block is giving the name, then disabling the block. These two concepts I explained using the single code. So these first topic, second topic, third topic, fourth, fifth. All these 5 topics together form sequential and parallel blocks for you. Okay. So if you have any doubts, please come up in the chat box. Please put your queries in the chat box. Meanwhile, let me tell you what I'll be covering in the next class, which is very important. I just explain you, I'll just give a start to it. And again, in the next class, I start with a question itself. But today, to understand its question itself, it takes some time. That's why I'll explain that question. And then we'll keep it for the next session. So meanwhile, you can put in the chat box your queries regarding the sequential and parallel blocks. So here is a traffic light controller. We also call it as traffic signal controller. So traffic signal controller, here's a road. We call it as a country road. Country road is going like this. Main highway is going like this. This is country road. And this is a junction. Okay, this is a junction. So specification are given like this. So this is a case study, I can say. Very important case study. Triple star, very important. Okay. The traffic signal for the main highway gets highest priority. Which is having highest priority? I'll give a tick. This is having highest priority. Okay. Because cars are continuously present on the main highway. Cars are continuously flowing onto it. Hence, the priority is given to main highway. Thus, the main highway signal remains green by default. So this remains the traffic lights. Think that I have installed the traffic lights here. People moving this side, this is green. Let me put a signal here. Here I have green, yellow, and yellow or orange and red. So here also I'll be having same thing for the people who are moving this side. Here also I'll be having same thing, 3 things. Here also I'll be having 3 things. Okay. Now the main highway signal remains always green. This is also green. This is also green. Always the traffic will be moving this side also, this side also. Occasionally, cars come from the country road also. Occasionally, cars from the country road arrive at the traffic junction or signal. Here also car comes. Now the traffic signal for the country road must turn green only long enough to let the cars on the country road. Means we'll be keeping a sensor here. Same sensors here also. Sensors for the cars to detect the cars which are moving this side. The sensors to detect the cars which are moving this side, I can say. It is this side. Think that this is a car, this is a car waiting for the green signal. So this sensor detects that the country road has some traffic, some car. So what it does is it will turn green. This also turns green. This also turns green. by turning the highway red only long enough to let these cars to pass this junction. As soon as this cars pass this junction, the sensor tells that there are no cars. So immediately that green becomes red. Green becomes red. Here the highway again, the green color will be symbol will be raised. So that highway has the traffic again flowing. So this is the first specification. Now the second specification is as soon as there is no cars on the country road traffic signal turns yellow and then red, and the traffic signal on the main highway turns green again. This also we discussed just now. Okay. As soon as there are no cars on the country road, we have to make that country road signals turn red. But directly we will not turn it to red like you have seen in your traffic signals. It will have yellow or orange. We can also call it as orange or yellow. Yellow, it's like alert, and then red. And the traffic signals on the main highway turns green. Okay, directly from red to green. There is a sensor to detect cars waiting on the country road. That's I have already said. The sensor sends a signal X as an input to the controller. If X is 1, means X is 1 means there are cars on the country road. Otherwise, X equal to 0. X equal to 0 means no cars on the country road. X equal to 1 means there are cars on the country road. That's the meaning. Then the last specification, there are delays on the transition from S1 to S2, S2 to S3, S4 to S0. What is this S and S0? All those things we'll understand later. The delay must be controllable. And here, the states changes means it is like changing the traffic signals. The traffic signals like you will have red, green, and there is yellow. Okay. Whenever we are changing from red to green, it will happen directly. Whenever you are changing from green to red, it will go to yellow and then comes to red. So there should be some delay mentioned. There may be delay here or even here. There are three possibilities of the delays. So these delays will also be mentioned or given. Like how much delay should be given from switching over the signal light from green to yellow, similar to yellow to red, similarly red to green. So these delays also will be mentioned in the specification, and these change of the signal lights are called as a state change or changing of the states. So this is the question for the traffic signal control case study that we are taking up in the very next session. So I'll start again with the question itself in the very next class, but I want you to have this initialization or start to this traffic signal controller now itself. Okay. So with this, we are concluding today's session. Let me go through the chat box.